Welcome back to Gulfside Baitworks. Time for another mold demo. Going through some more aluminum molds, and this week we're going to do one of my favorite saltwater molds, though. According to Anglingai's website, it's also for smallmouth and spotted bass, which we don't really have down here in Florida. We just have largemouth. But I use it for spotted sea trout or speckled sea trout. Different people, they call them different things around the country, but sea trout, that's what I use it for. And this is the Anglingai 4-inch Cali Grub. That's the one. Looked up a couple things about the mold to make sure I had the information right before we started. So this mold is actually fairly inexpensive. It's $90 for a Anglingai AI mold. That's 4 cavity. Yeah, it's pretty inexpensive. The mold is symmetrical, so if you're going to shoot laminates, you don't have to worry about having a top or a bottom. As long as you got your block this direction, you're good. If you do it this direction, you're just going to have 2 in each color. But so as long as you got it like that, you're good to go on there. This mold also has a tail mold, and I believe this is the only tail mold I own. But I use this all the time. I use it in a lot of our color demo videos if you watch the channel. But I use this mold for fishing a lot. When I'm out fishing and not catching anything in saltwater, I'll pull out one of these because the fish really like them. Some days I just start with it because I just want to catch fish too. So I do have the tail mold. Here it is. I looked it up. The tail mold is $50. So it's 6 tails. Yeah, so that is it and what we're going to be trying out today. So we're going to shoot some tails and then put them in the mold and shoot the mold. For our tails, we're using MF green chartreuse non-bleed. My bottle's pretty dirty, but that's what we're using. I have tons and tons of chartreuse colors. Not many of them are non-bleed. I do have a DOP one as well that's non-bleed I could have grabbed, but I found this one first. Haven't used it in a while. We're going to give it a shot. Green chartreuse non-bleed. That's what our tails are going to be. For the body, we're going to use Carolina pumpkin. So we're going to do a Carolina pumpkin, but instead of black flake like people usually use in Carolina pumpkin, I'm going to use this Lureworks bronze flake. I got it in 2 sizes, which is 0.04 and 0.015. That's the only sizes they make it in. If they made it in more sizes, I would buy it because this stuff is awesome. I found just about anywhere where you were going to use black flake, this stuff looks better. So that's what we're going to use. The chartreuse tail, the Carolina pumpkin body is a classic speckled trout or sea trout color. So that's what we're making, and that's what we're going to throw them at. So my plastic just beeped. I'm going to get it in the vac, and then I will be back, and we will do shoot some tails, and then fill the body, shoot the body. All right, be right back. All right, we're back. We got plastic hot and vacked and ready to roll. So we're going to hit it with some of this green chartreuse non-bleed from MF. I do believe that this is fairly clear, so we're going to start out with 20 drops. So it's been a while since I used it, so I could be totally wrong about it being real clear, but I suppose we'll find out. Yeah, I mean, it looks fairly clear on the spoon, not super clear in the cup. Let's see what it looks like a bunch. Yeah, that's pretty clear. I think I want to give it 10 more drops. Ooh, all right, so more like 12 more drops. That's okay. We're just using this to shoot tails in the water. not a huge difference, but I do see some more better color in that, so I think we are just going to stick with that. See how hot we are. We are a little cool. Let's bump that up real quick. While we do that, not going to take long, so I'm not going to cut. Here, I'll show you something cool. So, I was out at a new spot. I found that it looked like it, or not looked like, it had snook swimming around in it when I saw it when I was out for a walk, so I went back and I took this. This one is molten core from 8-Bit Baits, and it has swamp trout eyes. These eyes were actually made by swamp trout. It's a swamp trout ST5, but unfortunately this one met with a shark. A shark chomped this bad boy. So I don't know, I thought it was kind of cool. I kept it, and I think our color is ready to shoot. There we go. Quick sideline to keep everybody amused. Alright. So, now, time to shoot that tail. Probably don't need an entire injector full of plastic. In fact, I don't think it takes much at all. Yeah, barely takes any plastic at all. So, I'll have to find something fun later to do with all that chartreuse. But that's cool. I like chartreuse. I use it a lot, so I'm not worried about that. Alright, so we'll let that cool. Once it's cooled, I'll throw some in here. And then we'll get our other color mixed up and ready. So we'll be back and we're ready to make our body color. So, like I said, we're going to be using, our main component is going to be Carolina Pumpkin. So let's start out with, let's say 30 drops of Carolina Pumpkin. Alright, 30 drops, and that is Carolina Pumpkin from Lure Works. I don't believe I said that before. It's actually not that different from the brown that we used during our last color demo, the Pacific Sand from MF. This is definitely a little bit more towards like a flat tan color. It doesn't have like the dark, isn't quite as dark maybe. Maybe more like a sandy color. Maybe it looks like what pumpkins look like in Carolina. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been there. Alright, so now we'll get our bronze glitter in there. And what are we going to go with today? I think we're going to do 132s. Make sure that's cleaned out. Alright. So this one is, I believe, 015. So we got 015. Like I said, I like the bronze glitter. It has a similar look to the blank, but it's just kind of got this like little shine to it that I just like using it in the place of black. I think it looks good. It's definitely worth checking out if you use a lot of black, especially if you're doing it in, you know, like natural colors like green pumpkin, stuff like that. This looks really good in those kind of colors. So let's get our Carolina Pumpkin nice and mixed up here. opaque than I was expecting it to be. I've only used this a couple of times, and I didn't use a lot. Just a couple of drops to get an idea of that Carolina pumpkin. All right, let's see, what are we looking at on temp? Yeah, it's kind of cool. So we're gonna warm this up, and while we do that, let's check out those tails from the tail mold. So here we go. As you'll see with these, they got a little cutout in there to keep the tail in the keep the tail from running off on you. To keep something from pulling it out, and I personally have found that seems to work fine. I have never had one of these tails get pulled out by a fish, so I think that works fine. And as we all know, putting tails in is the worst. Ugh. One. Whew. Oh, yeah, but here, I did not mention before, which I should. Today we are using swim bait blend from Dead On Plastics in all of our plastic that we shot or are going to shoot. One thing I will tell you about this mold is it doesn't seem to care. I have shot this in everything from I've shot it in Dead On Plastics worm. I've shot it in every single Dead On Plastics except for Finesse, because I've never had their Finesse. But I shot it saltwater, crawl tube, swim bait blend, and it seems to work fine and have a fine action in all of them. So it is absolutely a very versatile bait, and it's really just going to come down to how tough you need your bait to be. If you need it to be in saltwater blend, throw it in saltwater blend. If you want it to be extra squishy and you want to make it in worm blend, go ahead. This bait does not seem to care. Tails are fun, right, guys? All right. Yeah, so that's a cool thing about this one, is it really doesn't matter what plastic you shoot it in. It seems to work just fine. Yeah, and the other thing too, we saw that there was that little hole in the tail right for plastic to fill in. Because of that, you don't have to crank your plastic up to real hot, like 380 or something, and to get a bond. It doesn't really matter, because it's got that spot in there to make sure that it grabs. Now, I actually shoot things at 380 all the time. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I'm not scared to do that, especially using the Dead On stuff. I will say 100%, I've tried different plastics, and I'm sticking with Dead On now because I've gotten it real hot. I've even got their saltwater blend up to 400 degrees before by accident, and it did not care. It's got more bubbles than other ones from the factory, but that's what the vac chamber's for. You got a vac chamber. You know what? I personally think that the heat resistance is worth having to vac it out. That's my thoughts on it. But yeah, so now back to the Cali Grub. Let's shoot this bad boy. Here we go. Doesn't take much plastic at all. It's not a huge mold, but yeah, doesn't take much plastic. Here we go. And yeah, we'll give that a couple of minutes to cool, and we'll be back and check it out. All right, we're back. Let's check these Cali Grubs out. There you have it. Cali Grubs in Carolina Pumpkin Chartreuse Tail. Pretty sweet. Pull a couple of these guys off here. And by that I mean all of them, because there's only 4. But you know, that'd be cool if they made this in like an 8 or a 12 or something. But yeah, so here we go. There is our color, and I smashed the tail a little bit on that one. Like I said, I'm not good at putting tails in. This one looks better. Here we go. So yeah, there it is. There's our Cali Grubs. Let me put this over here, and we will set these out and check them out and check out everything together. But yeah, you know, while I'm doing that, if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, you can throw them down in the comments. I'd also appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, as that will get this video in front of more people, and that will motivate me to make more videos. I'm trying my best to keep it going, and I would love to get more people seeing the videos. So if you get a chance, or if you would like and subscribe, I would appreciate that. Here we go again. We used Carolina Pumpkin, and that is 102 from Blueworks. We used 2 sizes of bronze glitter, and that's 040 and 015 on the top half. Bottom half was just green chartreuse non-bleed from MF. And here's a shot of a couple of the tails that are still on their sprue. But yeah, there we go. That is our colorway and what we made. So hopefully I hear from you, and hopefully we see you again here at Golf Site Baitworks. Goodbye.